When you have found your perfect home, when you have gotten under contract, there are things that could inhibit you from getting the loan. One of my favorite phrases of all times, Anita, we are clear to close. So you're probably wondering, like, what does that mean? What is a closing? Well, a closing simply is the day that the lender has the buyer signing all of the documents. And basically those documents are called lender docs. In a simplified version, it's when a buyer gives permission for the lender to fund the loan and they buy the house. And when a lender says that they are clear to close, that means that it's been through underwriting, all of the conditions have been met, and it is literally my favorite sentence, or one of my favorite sentences throughout the entire transaction, because then the buyer can buy the home. Now, there are certain reasons why a lender will, even if after you've been pre-approved, they will deny the loan. Like, can that really happen? Absolutely, yes it can. And in today's video, we're gonna be talking about the reasons why that can happen so that you set yourself up to succeed when purchasing a home. Here in Kansas City, it has happened, and every once in a while there will be a buyer that makes some mistakes, and those mistakes can cause them their dream home. Also in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 10 commandments of buying a home. And these commandments aren't necessarily commandments that are going to make your process less fun. These 10 commandments are there to make sure that you get your home, and they're protecting you. So that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. If we've never met before, my name is Anita Cordell, and I make videos about all things Kansas City. I'm also a licensed real estate agent and a team lead of the Yellow Brick Group, and we help people just like you buy, sell, relocate, and invest right here in our amazing city. Why? Because there's no place like home. Now, if you are on a real estate journey and you are ready to purchase or sell a property, I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. My contact information is in the description below. There is even a link right to my calendar. You can click on that link and set yourself up with an appointment with me where we can discuss through a video conference all of your real estate goals and then get you on the process. Also too, I invite you to go into the comments section below. Talk about your experiences. Have you been denied a pre-approval? So go ahead and comment below. It will also help other people when they're watching this video, could possibly learn some things when they are looking to purchase a home or sell a home. So let's get into the reasons why somebody can be denied a pre-approval. Now, this is not just talking about the pre-approval process when you're first setting up your process of buying a home. The first reason, and the most common actually, has to do with employment. And that reason is if you have an employment change. Lenders want to make sure that there is some consistency as far as resources is concerned and how you're going to actually pay off the mortgage. And if you change jobs and if you change your means of how you're going to pay for this loan, that could cause a lender some concern. Now, I'm not talking about if you are a software engineer and you got a new job, a new promotion, and you're still a software engineer. We're talking about very substantial changes within employment history. Maybe you are a nurse and you decide to become self-employed. That would be a big challenge for a lender to consider because you have no self-employment history. There's no consistency within the self-employment arena. And if you are considering changing jobs, always check with your lender to make sure that the time frame is good. Then also too, if you've been unemployed for any gap, the lender's gonna wanna know that. And if you become unemployed throughout the purchase agreement, you probably will lose your loan. Employment changes are the #1 reason why your loan could get pre-approved in the beginning and then you would lose it in the end. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean that you have to stay with a job that you hate until you buy a home. It's perfectly fine to change jobs. You just want to make sure that your lender is involved in that. Another reason why you might not be able to get the loan is due to property issues. Now, I'm not talking about just general property issues that might show up in an inspection that did not get fixed. I'm talking about when, say you are a VA or an FHA buyer and you you go and have that appraisal done, and then the appraiser comes back with their appraisal report and they're saying, well, wait a second, all these things need to be repaired before you can get the loan, you will get denied that loan unless those things are fixed. So that's when your agent could come in and help you negotiate those with the seller. One of the expert tips that I have for you is when you are looking at your properties of choice, make sure that you do a thorough job of looking through the property and talk to the inspector as well. Ask the inspector if there's anything at all that he sees that might cause a hiccup in the process of the appraisal, because if they see massive amounts of issues going on, an appraiser would not actually approve it, then it's probably not a house that you want to consider anyway. Another reason that you could get denied your loan even after getting pre-approved is the fact that your credit might get dinged. And how do you get dinged? Well, if your bills are not being paid on time, then the credit bureau will get notified. Your dinging of your credit could actually hurt you, and therefore your credit score will then drop, and you might fall into a danger range or any range that would allow the lender to cause great concern and then be forced to deny your loan. So make sure, even after you've been pre-approved, that you pay all of your bills on time so that this does not happen. Another reason that you might get denied a home loan is if you take out any additional debt. That means don't go to Home Depot, don't go to any of these places, because what'll happen is at the very end, the lender's gonna pull your credit one more time, and that credit is going to be compared to where it was before, and they're going to look at any incurred debt that you have actually added to your portfolio. Like buying a car, do not buy a car. Anything that is expensive, or even taking a vacation during this time can be risky, because you might be subjected to the temptation to put things on your credit card. And if your debt to income ratio is off and is too high, then you could very well possibly lose your home. It's really, really important that you stay in touch with your lender, because your lender is going to be your partner through this, and they are going to help you make sure that you make wise decisions. They're going to walk you through this whole entire process and help you make sure that you don't lose the home that you've been so excited about getting. Now let's talk about the 10 commandments of home buying. So 1, the first commandment is thou shalt not change jobs, become self-employed, or quit your job. Oftentimes when buyers are out looking, they hear the statement, location, location, location. Well, the lender has their own words as well, and that's consistency, consistency, consistency. And so when they are wanting to approve you for a home loan, they want to make sure that your resources are coming in, that you're consistent with them, that you're not changing any drastic measures as far as your resources are concerned. You're not becoming self-employed, or you're not becoming unemployed either. The best advice that I have for you is to just sit still, change your job after you buy a home. The second commandment of buying a home is thou shalt not buy a car, a truck, or any furniture. Or you may actually be living in it. Your lender absolutely wants to make sure that you can pay them back. Their loan is high priority, it's the top priority, and if you buy all these other things, then it can throw off your debt to income ratio and they will be less confident. The third commandment in home buying is thou shalt not use credit cards or let current accounts fall behind. It's so important to be consistent when you are paying off your bills, especially if you have excessive credit card use. That's going to show the lender that you're not controlled, and therefore you sometimes can't pay bills on time. They also don't want to make sure that your credit score is not affected negatively, which can impact your purchase. Number 4 of the commandments of buying a home is thou shalt not spend the money that you have set aside for closing, because if you spend it, you won't have it, and therefore you won't be able to bring money to close like your closing costs that you need, and therefore you won't be able to get your home. There's an old saying that says you use it, you lose it. Well, don't jeopardize your ability to buy this home by using the money that you were going to need for closing, because then you will lose the home. Commandment number 5 in home buying is thou shalt not omit any debts or liabilities on your loan application. Don't leave anything off. Make sure that when you fill out your loan application, seriously, you list every single thing that you owe just to make sure the lender sees that you have documented everything. I have heard of stories where people will try and hide back taxes. They might have an unpaid electric bill that was a couple years ago, or they might have these small debts that they are trying to hide or not tell anybody about. The lender will look at that, and sometimes a person can be denied because they hide things. So be sure and list every single debt that you have. Just tell it all. Just tell it all. Commandment number 6 in buying a home is thou shalt not buy furniture on credit. I'm telling you, I know I mentioned this earlier. It's very difficult to not be tempted and to not be visionary and to be all excited and whatever, but I'm telling you, it is so worth just the wait. That new sofa and that new recliner can wait. It's probably going to be there on the day of closing. Just wait a few more weeks. So stay the course. The furniture can wait. Commandment number 7 in home buying is thou shalt not originate any inquiries on your credit. What that means is don't go into Sears or don't go into Home Depot or don't go into Furniture Mart and fill out a credit application. Don't do it. Every single time you fill out an application, it dings your credit. It makes an inquiry on your credit report, and the lender will see that, and it will affect your credit score. So don't do it. Just stay away. Commandment number 8 in buying a home, thou shalt not make any large cash deposits without checking with your lender first. This goes even if, say, your grandma or your aunt or someone in your family wants to give you a big gift to help you buy a home and they give it in cash. Don't deposit that because they're going to need to have some kind of documentation. The lender will often look at anything more than 50% of your monthly income is considered a large deposit. So anytime it is more than that, then they're gonna want some kind of documentation. Oftentimes they will require a letter from the giftor, and on that letter they'll say, this is how much I wanna give, this is not a loan, this is the transaction date that it occurred, that kind of documentation. So if you know of somebody that's wanting to help you with that, then it can be done. It's just you really need to have communication with your lender in order for it to be done right, and that your relative or whomever will still be able to help you out. You just need to make sure that you check with the lender first. Commandment number 9 in home buying is thou shalt not change bank accounts. If you hate your bank, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to tough it out. Don't jump ship yet. Let things stay. Don't move. I mean, during this home loan process, the lender is going to check on so many things. And if you change bank accounts, that is going to be a red flag. Unless you receive some kind of documentation from your loan officer that says that it is okay, just stay with your bank accounts, because they're gonna need all of that documentation. In fact, up to the very end, they're gonna need bank statements. And so if you change bank accounts, there's going to be a little bit of a gap there. And so until you're walking through your home, leave your bank accounts as they are. And then commandment number 10 on home buying is thou shalt not co-sign for anyone. Yes, I'm saying that if you are wanting to purchase a home, do not co-sign with anyone. If somebody else is trying to do something and they're needing a co-signer, co-signing a loan for anyone is very risky, because if they default on that loan and if that payment doesn't get made, it is going to ding on your credit. So don't do it. So you want to hear that same sentence that I talked about in the very beginning. Anita, they are clear to close. You want to hear that too. You want to hear the lender say to you, buyer, you are clear to close, or you want to get that email. So what you need to do is to do every single thing that you possibly can to get that sentence out of their mouths. Hopefully, since you watched this video, you're more informed about what not to do when you are getting into a home, and what not to do, especially if you are already pre-approved and yet you're not yet at closing table. There are decisions that need to be made to make sure that you hit that closing table and are able to buy your home. Now, if you are here in the Kansas City metropolitan area and you have made the decision to purchase a home, then please reach out to me. My contact information is in the description below, so if you're considering making a move, don't hesitate to reach out to me and my team. I hope that you have a ton of value in this video. Be sure and like, subscribe, and follow, and make sure you click the bell so that you get notified when I post other videos about the Kansas City area or the home selling and home buying process in and of itself. YouTube is going to be giving you 2 more videos to watch that they think that you would absolutely love. So be sure and check those out too. And as always, go out and live your best Kansas City life.